This is Joe David Cantu once again with Hispanic News Online, and today we're bringing you another incredible Latino, Latina organization that is doing something incredible for the community. We are so lucky to have Josie from CODeLLA. I think that's exactly how it's said. I'm going to let her correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's perfect. CODeLLA.
And you're not going to believe this, but they are doing an incredible job in Miami, Florida. So, Josie, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here, and happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, as you know, I have you on because I was doing research this year and I found some organizations and people who are doing great things out there, and I wanted to highlight you guys. Um, can you give me a little bit of information? Well, no, actually, give me all the information you have about what you guys are doing. Please tell the people what's going on.
Well, we created CODeLLA because we know that we are now living in a time of exponential technological change. We know that in the last 15 years, there has been more change than in the last 50. We know that in the 20th century, a computer degree was good for about 30 years. You go to school, raise a family, buy a house, educate, your kids, put money away from retirement. We're lucky if degrees are good even for 4 years today. We're living in a time of lifelong learning, and we're living at a time where new literacy is needed, and it's called computer science. We know for certain that because of different studies that are out there, that by 2030, it's estimated that 43% of jobs as we know them will no longer exist. So we feel it is our passion, it is our mission to make sure that Latina girls, and we're starting with girls in middle school, ages 9 to 12, that they have the skills they need, the foundational literacies they need to be able to open pathways which will ascertain that they succeed and are meaningfully able to succeed in this new global disruptive economy. And that is really the why of why we exist. We also go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm listening. And so, how did you get started on this? Give me a little bit.
All right, in the summer of 2013, we basically started meeting a group of us, of educators, entrepreneurs, at the Lab Miami in downtown Miami. It's a co-working space, an entrepreneurial space, and we started working on a curriculum that we could offer for our mission was really to focus on girls living under the federal poverty level, Latina girls who might not otherwise have access to this type of education. And it's costly. It's about $400 a week per child. And we developed the curriculum over the summer. I think we finished around mid-August. And we decided that we needed to find an organization that was best practice, that had these girls already, so we could filter in and partner with them. And we identified Centro Mate East. Centro Mate is an organization in Miami-Dade that's been around for 45 years. They are best practice, gold standard, and they have 6 campuses in Miami. And we chose Centro Mate East in Little Havana because of its location and they really were the first campus. So we had 25 girls, and it was interesting because initially, and we started doing this in the summer of 2014. We did 2 cohorts, 6 weeks long, twice a week, basic introduction to tech entrepreneurship, to digital literacy, and to coding. Everybody was a volunteer, by the way. Everybody the first year and a half volunteered their services because everybody was passionate about doing this. And then starting in September of 2014, we started offering a weekly project-based learning club focused around coding and entrepreneurship, and also providing tinkering and other STEM-related projects for the girls. After that, we actually applied for a grant. Centro Mate Foundation actually did, and they asked CODeLLA to be a part of it. And we were one of 134 groups in the Miami-Dade area that applied for a grant that Northern Trust was putting out, and it was a $50,000 opportunity. It took about 4.5 months. There were 3 rounds of questionnaires and, grants, different iterations of the grant, and we're very grateful to be one of 5 selected in the northern part of the country that were selected for a $50,000 award. We took that $50,000 award and put it towards curriculum and equipment, and we did the first, we think, in the nation, 8-week immersion program for Latina girls in tech entrepreneurship and coding. We had 4 professors from Barry University. We had a WinCode professor. We had the director of the Idea Center at Miami-Dade. He taught design thinking. Involved, we had lunch and learns with top technology companies and incubators. We brought in Latina engineers, Latina entrepreneurs as young as 11 years old to our little teeny conference room where we held our classes, and it was extraordinary. And I had parents who initially were concerned that, they didn't really quite understand why their daughters had to have an awareness of being an entrepreneur at the age of 9. But as the girls came home and spoke to their parents about what they were learning, everything shifted. From the educators at Centro Mate, who really were hesitant as well to think, they really thought, our girls, this is supposed to be a fun camp. And, it's all about playing and going on field trips to the Adrian Arts Center, or to the water slide, or to the beach. And they just really didn't think we were going to be able to meaningfully engage the girls in focused learning around STEM and coding. And I had to turn girls away. I mean, we ended up, we bought devices for 20. We got donations from CareCloud. So we ended up having 25 computers, and we accepted 25 girls. And part of the mandate for being able to stay in the camp is that they needed to be there every day. Of course, we made exceptions. I mean, you have to go to a doctor, you have to go to a doctor. But there had to be that real commitment on the part of the girls and their families. And we got it.
So, on a daily basis, when these girls showed up, I mean, what would be sort of like the curriculum of what they get? I mean, do they just come in and you guys talk to them, or do you actually give them programs that they have to work on? I mean, how does it work with you guys?
Oh no, they absolutely had to work on programs. Oh my God, the girls actually developed apps. Everything was focused around health, something related to healthcare that solved a problem in their community. And in order to get them there, I mean, we started 8 weeks ago. So the girls literally, at the beginning, we did some tinkering. We did some. We also taught them how to create their own, how to improve their presentation skills. We taught them fractals, math, how to find patterns in everyday life, in nature. We taught them design thinking. We taught them, oh my God, hold on, pull this up. We taught them basic English, how to put together a story, the who, what, where, when, and why. We taught them so many things. It really was extraordinary.
So how did well, it sounds like
our curriculum literally was developed starting in, I want to say, February. We didn't even know we were going to get that grant. Okay, the first week the girls learned to put together a battery. They worked with circuitry. They saw how a drone flew. They learned to code with Python. The third week, they were doing entrepreneurship and building their own wearable tech. The fourth week, they did game design with Fitbits. We wanted them to actually use something, a piece of wearable tech, and add to it, improve on it. The fifth week, they had introduction to HTML, tactual coding. The sixth week, they learned CSS and JavaScript. The seventh week, and we put them into teams. And they didn't choose the teams. We did, essentially. And we figured out who would be good at marketing, who would be good at coding, who would be good at, design and the arts. It was incredible.
And how do you, it sounds like they flourished. It sounds like watching a flower open in the morning. Was that the kind of feeling that you guys got from the girls themselves?
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. And when they went on these field trips, the questions they asked showed that they were completely engaged. Everybody was so impressed. They could actually speak in complete, beautiful sentences, which really denoted complete thought, complete. They got it. They actually learned how to put together an investor deck. They heard from entrepreneurial women, to find out, what is the problem you're solving? We did one session, which I led at Ecotech Visions, which is really one of the first sort of green corridor businesses, incubators in Miami. And these girls listened for an hour and a half to women who literally went through what, they went through to identify what is the problem they're going to solve, who is your competition, how do you select a team. Then the girls learn to work collaboratively, which they don't necessarily learn at school. It's extraordinary.
And
truly extraordinary.
What was the response by the parents? I understand you said at the beginning there was a little pushback, but so when they started going back home and getting the information to their parents, what kind of response did you have from the community?
They were ecstatic. In fact, Centro Mata has changed their age. Typically girls finish at 12, then they need to go someplace else. Our CODeLLA scholars, girls who graduated from our first class, some of them who were turning 13, will be allowed to return to be a part of this program. The parents were thrilled. And we have over 50 inquiries from parents from across the country asking how can they find a program for their children.
And so
the parents were completely thrilled. Completely.
You making it sound like I need to hire a couple of these girls. They just sound fabulous.
These girls come from the poorest schools in our community. So for them to have this opportunity, now the important thing is to stay with them. Now the important thing is to make sure we identify. We also did math tutoring for the girls. And now for us, we want to make sure that we can continue to mentor them and match them with mentors and continue their learning. That's really critical, and find opportunities as we're actually going to provide scholarships to two of them this now, starting now.
Wow, wow. Are you guys going to expand this? Do you have any in the future plans to expand this to including boys?
We would love to, but it would be a different program. Centro Mata has asked us now to create a STEAM program for the boys, which we are doing. There's actually an organization coming in to do the arts segment. We're setting up a tinkering lab for the boys, and we are bringing in a separate professor, but we will keep it boys only. I mean, we really feel that that it's important to keep the kids. You know, the learning needs to be focused.
Right.
Just, you know, boys, boys, girls, girls.
Right. Well, you know, just listening to you, it just excites me to hear that you guys are doing this. How do the people who are working with it feel about it also? I mean, because it must be pretty, you know, thrilling to watch this on a daily basis, the growth. How do you guys feel about this?
Oh my gosh, everybody's ecstatic. I mean, it's beyond our wildest dreams. The funders are ecstatic. They want to continue to work with us. The professors who participated are ecstatic. The parents are ecstatic. You know, one of the administrators from Centro Mata basically said, you know, these kids are in schools where they're not in a cage, but it's, you know, there's no personalized learning opportunities. So to expose them to that and to make them feel like they can do anything, the only limits are limits they place on themselves, that they are worthy. You know, it's also about working on their self-esteem. And, you know, there are as many cultural barriers, and we know this from recent studies, to girls entering either manufacturing or computer science or the sciences, STEM. Cultural barriers can be as significant as financial or, you know, what's offered at schools. I mean, there's also barriers by administrators who don't feel the Google study. I mean, we'll show you the recent Google study that, you know, administrators don't really feel that there's a need for this, or that parents want this. Well, parents don't know that they want this. Parents don't know that this is a foundational literacy that children need.
Right.
So, you know, we have to educate every stakeholder in the educational system. You know, we're not going to change how schools are run, nor is that our goal. But we certainly, as a community, and hopefully other organizations, will see that we, you know, need to and can make a huge difference by providing after-school programming on weekends, during the holidays, and in the summer. And we can make a difference to bridge those skills gaps. We can. And that we need to work together.
Yes, absolutely.
That collaboration is everything.
Absolutely.
You know, because, and especially now where, you know, depending on what your digital footprint is, you know, and who you interact with, you know, we're working in silos. Well, we have to step out of those silos and collaborate with other like-minded individuals.
You know, every time I've worked on a program sort of like this, you end up getting sort of one individual that just touches you. Did you happen to have one of those in this this go around where you just gravitated to and just saw them absolutely just bloom completely? And if you did, could you give us a little bit of highlight of what that experience was like for you?
I'll tell you, I have to keep thinking back to a woman that I met in the 90s when I was actually in Los Angeles. And I was covering a meeting that Gloria Molina who was a first Latina county commissioner, was um, was spearheading. Anyways, I met this woman outside, and she was a community organizer, and she basically said that she had probably come about 10 years before from Mexico, and she knew to respect the teachers and love the teachers, and what the teachers said really was her motto. She didn't question what teachers said or administrators said. And she was a volunteer she had 3 children in her children's school, and she baked cookies and was there for every baseball game and every field trip. And she said, nobody told me my child needed special classes to go to college. And in the 90s, our children were, either in a vocational or in an academic track. And she didn't know that she could actually participate and meet with career guidance counselors at school to determine whether or not her child could be in an academic track. And her child ended up joining the military. I still remember that mother. And I think that's, something that completely motivates me still till today. I mean, what most really impacted me this time around were the girls and how they flourished and bloomed with our offerings, and how confident they seemed. To see them up on stage, working in teams, collaboratively, presenting their business ideas that help solve a problem in the community, doesn't get better than that. They are my inspiration.
Wow, Josie, you give me a lump in my throat now. Well, Josie, I was going to ask you, how does this affect the Latino in this program? How will it affect the Latino community? And you know what? Let's just not keep it in the Latino community, because what you're doing is going beyond the Latino community. You're giving them the opportunity to do to the whole world. How do you think this is going to affect them for the future?
It will certainly create pathways for them to be able to hopefully engage in a meaningful way in a technologically based global economy. We all have to work. I mean, we're in Miami, and we're going to be setting up CODeLLA clubs, hopefully with Miami-Dade schools, in Miami-Dade schools. But the reality is that we don't have a national curriculum in the United States. Everything is local, and I think we know that. But, we also know that 9 out of 10 schools in the United States aren't teaching computer science. So it is going to take a village, a national village, to make sure that, computer science is what drives innovation in not only the U.S. economy, but in a global economy. There are 26 states that allow for computer science courses to go towards your high school diploma. So this affects the nation. The fact that almost 50% of our schools, that our states don't even recognize computer science courses towards high school graduation, that's a huge problem in an innovation-centric, technological, global economy. Right now, there's almost 600,000 jobs that can't be filled because we don't have the individuals with the skill sets needed to fill them. That is a huge issue for our country. All right. And last year, there were almost 60,000 computer science graduates. 60. So notice that, almost. Okay. So you've got almost 600,000 jobs we can't fill, and we had 60,000 computer science grads. All right. We know that by 2020, and there's a lot of data to support this. There are going to be more than 1 million jobs. Okay? 1 million. A $500 billion opportunity. All right? 1 million jobs. We're not going to have the people with the skills to have those jobs. It's scary. So we have to move beyond our fear and take action.
Wow. I can't say thank you enough for what you're doing for our community. I spoke to you earlier about this, and I just wanted to do these podcasts because of individuals and organizations like yourself and what you're doing for our community. I think that
I really have to tell you, go to CODeLLA.org. All right, and there's also Girls Who Code. We hope to be a feeder for Girls Who Code, but they don't start till 13. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's national organizations that are doing wonderful work around this, and CODeLLA.org was truly the first. And they're going around the country, not only meeting with departments of education, but they're also training the teachers, because we need teachers that have the skills to teach coding. I'm sorry that I interrupted you, but
that's okay. That's okay. No, I'm glad you're getting the information out, because it's very important to our community that they get involved. And this is the next generation. Just because those jobs and those opportunities were not available when you were a kid, they are now, and it's the future. And so organizations like yourself and CODeLLA.org are necessary to be, for that information to be out there. Well, I just want to thank you very much for coming on. I know that you're a busy woman and you've got stuff to do, but I wanted to give you a few minutes to give everybody information out there. And I'm hoping that other organizations like yourself that are working throughout the country will reach out to you, and maybe you guys can work together and expand this throughout the nation. So how about I give you the floor and let people know how they can get a hold of you, how they can, see what you guys are doing. Give me the whole shebang.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Our website, I say my, like it's mine, but it's not, it's ours, is www.CODeLLA.org. COD as in David, ELLA.org. Our Facebook page is CODeLLA.org, one word, CODeLLA.org. My Twitter handle is at Josie Goytisolo, JosieGoytisolo. CODELLA's Twitter handle is CODELLAINNOVATE. Let me see what else. My email is josie@CODeLLA.org or josiegoytisolo@gmail. And I think that's pretty much it. So, that's the best way to reach us. And please feel free to reach out. We love collaborating and helping anyone that we can.
Well, you heard it out there, folks. And to make it easier on you guys, Josie's going to send me all the information, and I will post it on the site also, so that you guys not only listen to this, but can reach her through all the connections that she has, social media and her site and stuff. Josie, I just want to say thank you once again. This is the first time we're doing these podcasts and for Hispanic Heritage Month, and I'm very excited that you were able to come on and spend some time with us. Hispanic News Online takes off their hat to you, because you guys are doing a great job. One last thing before I let you go, because we've got a couple of minutes left. If you had a room full of young ladies, give me a short little brief what you would say to them.
You can do anything. There is you can't even imagine what you can do today. Study, study, study. but also, listen to your teachers, but also use your creativity, become a maker, become a creator, be inquisitive. I really, I think when I was growing up, it was about memorizing. I don't want you to memorize. I want you to ask questions, to solve problems. Every day, find a problem you can solve. Any, because that is a skill set that will help you in the future. It's all about problem solving.
Wow. Josie, thank you very much for those words of advice. Everyone, this is Joe David Cantu from Hispanic News Online. We have another interesting Latino and Latina coming up tomorrow. But once again, we want to say thank you very much for Josie and CODeLLA out of Miami and all the great work they're doing. Please stay tuned tomorrow to find out what's the next Latino that we're bringing you. So, gracias a todos y stay tuned and watch tomorrow and see what we have for you. Gracias a todos. Thanks, Josie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.